I have been posting little tips at the beginning of my videos, just so while people come in, I have something to say and I can refer people to the videos. I started off talking about my silicone brushes in my other live before, didn't have a chance to be approved. But now I'm trying to think of a little tip that I can share with you guys, because I had prepared that one specifically. I think maybe I will run over the brushes just really quickly and show you guys sort of how to or what I use and how to clean them, how to clean these lovely brushes. I use these silicone brushes when I oh, hi Justine. We're in, yay. I use these brushes, and you guys are going to see me use them on this cup when I get into it. I use these to actually put on all of my epoxy. Hi, Margette. Oh, hi, Ashley. Thank you. Hi, Jerry. So yeah, that's my tip for today, is these silicone brushes. I love them. There are different ways that you can apply your epoxy. I've seen, and I've used, well, almost all of them, I think, except for the paintbrush, but you can use a regular paintbrush, you can use your finger, you can use these silicone brushes, you can use foam brushes. You do what works for you. I love these. This is my favorite. She is my favorite. You know it's my favorite because I call her a she. This is from IKEA. I like it because it's stuck to the base, as opposed to these guys who aren't. Although this is a really good one. But then you've got the dollar store ones that are like this, and even smaller like this. And this one has the epoxy on it, so I'm going to show you guys how to clean that one. So the reason why I like these is, for me, it gives me really smooth coverage, and I use the brush to even on my final coat. But you know, I think the reason why it works really, really well for me as opposed to other people maybe is I like to put thicker coats of epoxy on my cups, and it works really, really well. And the cleanup, well, obviously you don't throw it out, and the cleanup is a breeze. So basically all you do is you once it cures, just let it sit, and once it cures, just kind of spread the little bristles apart. And this is fun, by the way. My son fights me for these when it's time to clean them. So, ooh, you see that? Anyway, so you get the little bits of epoxy. I had a better one in my first my first video while I was waiting for people to come on. But yeah, so there's little bits that are left. You can just kind of keep going. I go like this, get them all off. Hi, Stephanie. And then once I've cleared all of the little bits, I'll run it under water. I'll put a little bit of hand washing soap, and I'll go like this underwater until all the little bits are off, because the last thing you want is to take your brush, put it in epoxy with a bunch of bits, and then put your bits all over into your clear coat. That's not going to look good. So anyway, I love these. I recommend them. That's what I use. But yeah, you can do what works best for you. Oh, here's another one. Look at this. I'm going to get started in a second. I'm just trying to get people to come on, and I like to give this part of the video to people, like my little tips, I guess, at the beginning while people are coming on. I can just refer them to this video. Look at this. It's so much fun. Anyway, my son loves doing it too, so yeah, here you go. It's nice and clean now. Usable. Hi, guys. Oh yes, the holders. Yes, at IKEA too. So yeah, that's where I was going. Actually, I was buying those, and then I found these, and I said, oh, wow. Okay. So now the video today, I thought I would do something a little bit different, because I love doing this, and I love you guys joining me, because it's fun to be talking and to interact with people while I craft. But I thought, okay, let's do something a little bit different. Somebody yesterday when I was doing my live said something about, oh wow, this is a cool craft, but now it's more money that I have to invest. Right, because you have to buy these paints. So what I thought I would do is I would just do two colors. but it's not going to be just 2 colors because I'm going to do it in shades. I'm going to use the same 2 colors all the way through, but because I'm going to be thinning out the color, or not thinning out, but I guess making shades of the same color, it's going to be multicolored in the 2 tones. And I think it's going to look really pretty because I've done, most of my cups are done that way to a certain extent. I use 2 or 3 colors or 4 sometimes, but I use shades, which gives it depth and it makes it look more interesting. So I'm hoping that with these 2, we can come up with something really, really nice, and that people go, oh, wow, I could do that. I could just try it, and if it works for me, great, and I like it, great. I'll invest in other colors, and if it doesn't work for you, well, you haven't, you know, spent a lot of money. So moving on to the things that I'm going to use. Obviously mixing stuff, so I use my little silicone bowl, just because I can reuse it. I don't always, depends what I'm doing, and if they're all dirty, then you know, I'll use another method. I do use these guys for this method. This is just little cups that I'm going to split them into, my epoxy into, and popsicle sticks. I use an embossing gun. You can use an embossing gun, a torch, a butane, propane, I think it's, no, it's a butane torch, and a heat gun. That's what it is. So you can use an embossing gun, a heat gun, and a butane torch. I don't think a propane torch would, no, I wouldn't use that on a small cup. But they do use it for epoxy on big surfaces, but just not on a small cup. At least I don't think so. I've got my epoxy, obviously. I use Promarine. That's the brand that works for me. I tried it because it was less expensive, and then I loved it. And so that's what I'm sticking to. I've got my cup, obviously. And by the way, I don't think I told you guys this, but this is the new cups that Michaels sells. I'm in Canada, so I have a really hard time getting supplies. And like you guys can go to Walmart, and they're often $5, or even the $6.74 for a 20 ounce is a really good price, but I don't have that. So I have to try to make do with what I've got. These guys to me are $15 Canadian, but I can use up to, well, whatever coupon there is at Michael's, and it comes up to $7.63 with tax, which is $7. Oh wait, $7.63, which is 6 something US. That would be the equivalent, which is like fantastic for me because that's affordable. So anyway, and they're really good. They're insulated. They're double. They're, you know, the cold and hot, 24 hours cold, 12 hours hot. Here, I'll grab one for you. Okay. Oh, and I've got to show you something else about these. Okay, so not only are they, you know, they're 12 hours, 24 hours and 12 hours. They're insulated tumbler. I think they're double wall from what I could tell. Yeah, because they have to be usually, I think, for the heat. But not only that, look at this. They're completely closable. So for those of us who like to bring coffee around in our cars, that's a good thing. So anyway, now my final thing that I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to use today, I've showed these to you guys, shown these to you guys a couple of times, but these are the Testors brand airbrush paints that I fell in love with because I had been using, like everybody else, these paints, acrylic paints. Yes, they work, not a problem. The only thing is that they you have to use just a tiny little bit because they get very stringy and thick. So these guys are much easier to work with. They don't get stringy and thick and goopy and unusable after a while. Like after a while, if you put too much of the acrylic paints in, you can't. Like it's just like Play-Doh almost. It's just it's not good. These guys, the 2 colors that I chose today, they're both opaque. One of them is just the plain white opaque, and the other one is the blue. Okay, but they're not going to be obviously just these two colors in my cup, because I'm going to do what I normally do and make shades of it, so that I've got my dark blue, a lighter blue, and a white all mixed in. And if I choose to, I might add a bit of glitter, because if you guys have some glitter, you know, lying around, you might want to use that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start mixing my epoxy. I'm going to use a little bit more than I used yesterday, because I found that yesterday I ran out, well, a little bit, just in case something ever goes wrong. You want to have a little bit of extra. So I'm going to use a whole pump of each, and I'm going to use my little measuring cup. My little measuring cup here. And I'm going to add probably another 10 mils. My pumps are between 25 and 30 mils, so let's just say tops 35 mils of each. 35 to 40 mils of each. Yes, you know, Margette, am I saying that right? Give me a like if I'm saying that right. I don't want to butcher your name, sorry. I have found that these paints are in all different sections. In my Walmart, my Michaels, sorry, Michaels, they are in like a very obscure place at the very end, not even near any of the airbrush paint guns, not even close. And I don't know, I don't know why they're there. And some of them don't have them, but most of them do. You can also find them online, and Amazon has them. So yeah, I can yes, that's right, I can link to the Amazon and to the, oh, Walmart has them. Oh, but the thing is, though, with Michaels, you get to use your coupon. So I pay like $6.99, I believe, regular price, and then I use a coupon. So that's good. They're like $4 or something like that with the coupon, $4 or $5 at the most, depending, with taxes and all that. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to put this on the floor. I'm just going to grab a little mat, little piece of paper. The one part pumps out very well, but then this part is really thick. And because I broke my wrist, it's a lot harder for me, so I kind of put my weight on it. So I'm going to do that on the ground right now, so that I can get a nice pump in there. I'm just putting the thick part into my cup, my mixing bowl. Almost done. Sometimes I'll heat it with my little heater. I'll just put the heater that's here, I'll just turn it towards, and I'll heat it for a while, but then that would have made a lot of noise. Yes, I sometimes get pain in my wrist there, Margette, when I do this. Yeah, but I still like the pumps, mind you. I'm going to go ahead and put my little 10 mils of extra in here so that I make sure I have enough. A little bit more. A little bit more. All right, that should be enough. Let me put that up. All right. So I use a larger popsicle stick because it's smoother to mix, and the more smooth you mix, the less bubbles you're going to get. So I recommend doing that if you can. I'm just going to make sure I've got all right, so that's good. I know how much to put in now. Okay. This bowl is going to be very full of epoxy, but that's okay. And these bowls were sent to me by a friend of mine, actually. I don't know where she got them. If anybody knows, maybe Hobby Lobby, is that possible? Have you guys seen those there? I haven't seen them locally, these little silicone bowls. I like to reuse things if I can as much as possible, so I really appreciate them. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Make sure I've got, yeah. Okay, and a whole pump now. There we go. All done. Oh yes, you know what? My pants, thank you. They're pajamas. I was thinking of like changing my YouTube channel to crafting with PJs or something like that, or crafting in pajamas, because there's a reason for this. Not just because it's comfortable, because yeah, I get home from work and the first thing I want to do is change into my PJs, because, well, you know, you want to get as comfortable as you can. But it's not only that, it's I don't know if you, okay, I'll get up for a second. Do you see that? That's epoxy. That's epoxy on my shirt. It's not going away. It's been washed many, many times. And yes, these are my doggy pajamas. I got them for Christmas. And you know what? If I get a bit of epoxy on them, that's okay. They're comfortable. They're like flannel. So, and yeah, I wear them because I don't want to ruin my other clothes, and it's all good if I get like a bit of epoxy on them, because it's only for home, right? And well, now you guys get to see all my PJs. And so I was thinking of literally changing my channel name to something like that, crafting with PJs or crafting in PJs or something, because it's my comfort zone. I do this because I love it. I do this whole thing because I really enjoy it, and have a pretty stressful day job. So when I'm able to do this and come home and create something, it's really a release for me, like a you know, I guess, yeah, creative release, I guess you can say. So I need to be doing something like this. To me, this is really important. Somebody keeps giving me angry faces. Is somebody angry at me? Did I say something wrong? I keep getting all these like angry faces going by, unless I'm seeing something, unless I'm getting that wrong. But please do comment if you don't like something I'm saying. Thanks, guys. Oh, now I see hearts and likes. Thank you. All right. Hi, Shelly. I thought of doing that too, you know, of making, like, I've seen those syringes and I've seen those smaller bottles. And I consider doing that as well, but I like the pumps because for me, if I need 1 pump or 2 pumps, I know exactly how much I'm getting and I don't have to measure. But yeah, I may have to look into that for when I do measure. Maybe I should have both, like what I just did today. If I had 1 pump of each and then I could squeeze the bottles, you know, maybe it would make it a little bit easier in terms of when I measure. I'm going to consider that because I do think it might be a bit easier, especially on my wrist. Okay, so I've got my 4 little cups, and I'm gonna bring you guys a bit down, and I'm gonna move out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit in each cup of my epoxy here. So I'm gonna put probably, not quite sure how many mils this would be, but in these cups there's about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of epoxy in each, and I have left a nice amount in here just so that, again, for emergencies, if I need more of one color and I need to do like a quick fix, I guess. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to move you guys over to this area so that you can see. And hopefully this time it doesn't disconnect like it did last night. It disconnected at this point. I tried to cover the camera so you guys don't get all dizzy and weird. So I'm going to try that again, and I'm going to do it very carefully so it doesn't come off. Moving you guys. Got to move my computer a little bit closer. Ah, it worked! Yay! You guys can see my cup. Oh, that's my alarm on my phone. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see this fairly well. I believe the color is pretty good from what I can see. And not only that, I can bring my little cups down and show you guys what I'm doing right here. Okay. So again, I'm only using these 2 colors. Okay. And I'm going to start off by making a blue. Okay, like this shade of blue. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to probably put, oh, you know what? I don't think I've ever used this blue because I still have the little lid on there. Okay, I'm going to shake it a little bit to make sure, whoops, am I going to make sure that the color is nice and rich. Yeah, I'm just looking to make sure it's not the pearl kind. Not that it matters, you could have used pearl, but I just want to make sure I tell you guys exactly what I'm using. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 drops. I want it to be fairly rich. So these guys go a long way. So this is the other thing, right? With these, they go a really long way. So you don't need, you know, once you invest in these, you can make so many cups. I've made many, 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 especially with the purple, and it's almost full still because you just need a few drops. Okay, so there's my blue. Now I'm going to go ahead and put 3 drops in that one, and I'm going to put some white. I'm going to lighten it, and that was the whole point of this, is to try to make different shades by lightening the exact same blue, but in different shades, so that you, I put about 3 drops of white in this one, as well as the 3 drops of blue. Now, if I look at the 2 colors, they look very, very similar still. This one is a bit lighter, but I think I'm going to add 2 more drops of the white. That might have been, yeah, 2 or 3. Okay. I'm just checking to make sure that the consistency is still good, which is what I love about these, is the consistency stays so nice. So yeah, it's definitely a different color. There's the rich blue, and then there's a little bit lighter. Now I'm going to put 2 drops. Oop, I probably put a 3rd in there, but that's okay. I'll just put a little bit more white. Okay, a little bit more white in there. than before. Not sure how many, but probably 6 drops that I just put in there. I'm going to put a bit more because I can tell it's still not good. So I'm going to keep playing with it until I get sort of a light blue, and I'm going to hope it keeps its consistency. This was a try, right? I've never done this like this much. I've made shades before, but never the same color and many shades of the same color. So we'll see what this comes out with. What do we come up with? Okay, there we go. This is a bit lighter. So I don't know if you can see that. There's my colors. Still not as light as I want. I'm going to push it a little bit more. Okay, that's better. Maybe 2 more drops. And that's the beauty of this too, is that it's so not watery. Yeah, watery. It's got a watery consistency. Yeah, so there. I've got 3 nice shades of blue. It's hard to see. And maybe try moving them here to see if you guys can see that. You see the 3 shades? And now the last one is going to be white. So I put about 4 or 5 drops in this one of white. Okay, so we're going to get started on the actual cup. Normally I go dark to light. I will use about 3/4 of each of these on my cup to begin with to make a base. Just going to go check to make sure I don't have any comments that I've missed. I can't see, but I don't think so. Or any questions, I should say. All right, so I start off and I start my drizzle. So I'll start drizzling all across my cup. And this, you don't have to pay, you know, special attention, or you don't have to worry about how you're doing this and you know, oh, is this wrong? Is this, no, you can't sort of mess this up, I guess you can say, because you'll have a chance to fix it later. You see, I've just done a line across like this. It doesn't matter. I'm just putting a base on right now, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Once I've done adding all of this. I think this is going to be so pretty. Okay. So I still have about half of that color, but I'm going to go ahead with the next color. You want to use up to a quarter. Like, you want to make sure you have a quarter of each color left. So you're going to put on, well, half, well, at least half, I would say, to up to 3/4. You don't want to use more than 3/4 of your colors, each color. So you can see a little bit of a difference between the 2 colors at this point, which is fine. And see, the thing is, the more colors that you use, or the more shades you use, the more definition you're going to get in your cup. The more you know, you're going to be able to well, see the lines, I guess, right? That's what my goal is. Get nice, pretty lines. I'm going to go ahead with the 3rd color, which is a bit lighter. And you see, like, it's still nice, and even though I put quite a bit of paint in there, it's still nice and runny. This is what you want. With acrylic paint, sometimes the more paint you add, the thicker it gets, and at certain points it becomes unusable. Do you see that? Do you see the difference now? Like, you can really see the difference, the different colors. So I could have used purple, but I thought you guys would get really tired of seeing purple again, but this would look amazing in purple. So if anybody wants to give that a shot, please do. And please show us. Pink too. Pink would look very nice. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead with the white. A little bit of white on there. The white is going to be a little bit more difficult. It looks like it's a little bit more runny, which I've been noticing. But you see now the definition in that cup. So you can make an amazing cup just on 2 colors. Okay. Almost done now. You want to cover as much of the stainless steel as possible, and you want, you know, a little bit of all the colors in each area. And I like nice thin lines. You can do thick lines if you want, if that's your thing. You know, you do what you think looks best. So now I'm going to use my favorite brush, my IKEA brush. But again, you can use your finger, you can use a sponge brush, you can use a paint brush, whatever you prefer. And I normally put it on the outside as it's turning like that. And I just gently go over like this. Okay, just very gently. And your goal right now is just to smooth out your base. You want to have a base. It's not going to look as nice as you thought. You're going to look at it and go, oh no, I messed it up. Nope, you didn't. You didn't mess it up at all. It's fine. This is the way it's supposed to look. You're gonna think, oh, it's all blended. It's not gonna look. No, it's fine. It's believe me, this is the way it's supposed to look. You can still, even though I'm blending like this, you can still see the definition in there. You can still see the darker and the lighter blues. You can still see a little bit of little streaks of white. That's what you want. That's what gives your cup the beautiful depth when you're adding on to it later to have this nice base. I mean, you could probably just throw on just one single color, but doing this, I find you have such a nice, you know, base. It's all kind of swirling in. So I like this better than just putting on a solid color, but I suppose you could do that if you wanted to. There we go. Can you guys still see the definition in there of the the different shades of blue and the white? So once that's done, I'm not seeing any comments or anything, so I'm wondering if something went wrong. I hope not. I'm just trying to make sure. Okay, I see a like, so I know that somebody's still there and everything is okay. All right. I was just hoping that I wasn't missing a whole bunch of stuff or that it wasn't disconnected some weird way. All right. Once I'm satisfied that most of the stainless is covered, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the rest of my my colors, and look at this. So I'm going to continue to add it. I'm going to wait till it turns a little bit to add my colors, starting by the darkest to the lightest. That's the way I like to work. Making sure that if you do see little spots, you try to fill them. I can see a couple of little spots where I can see the stainless, so I'm just going to make sure that I go through those and add my paints. Okay. I'm going to go with my other blue, my second blue, my second darkest blue. I'm going to wait till it turns a little bit. I'm really happy with this, guys. This is really cute. It's like turning out really amazing. Not sure what all you can see, because I see my screen, but you can never tell, right, what that looks like. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with my lighter blue. And guys, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but if you see big chunks and you're not quite happy with that, you like finer lines, you can go in your big chunk with your finer or your lighter color and kind of break it up. So that's what I do at this point. I go in and I try to break up the colors that aren't quite looking so good. So this is when you try, your artist hat goes on and you're not just dumping paint on. You want to try to make it look good. You want to make it sort of look like you meant to do it and not just throw on a bunch of paint. So this is the part that I'm at right now. So I'm trying to look, where do I need more white? Where do I need more blue? You know, how do I make this look even nicer? And if at any point your paints get a bit thicker, you can always start using your embossing gun or whatever heat that you have to kind of spread it a little bit. But so far, so good to me. It looks pretty nice. And it's going to continue to change, obviously. It's going to continue to swirl and change. See how there's that blob there? I don't know if you guys saw that white speck. That bothers me. So I usually go in with another color and just put a line right through it with my with a different shade, I guess, at this point. It's all the same color, actually, almost. But it's different shades. So it's super, it's different. So now if you see bubbles, which I see a few bubbles forming at this point, I'm going to just hit it a little bit with my embossing gun, just to make sure I get some of the bubbles out. You can kind of see them popping. Okay. I did wipe this down with alcohol when I first started. The cup, I mean, just to make sure that there wasn't anything funny going on there. But I think this is it. What do you guys think? I can't wait to take a video of this later, because it just, I don't know what you guys see, but from here it looks really, really cool. I'm really happy about it. Do you guys have any questions or anything? I don't see anybody actually asking questions. So, oh, something happened here. I finally see comments. I don't know why, but I wasn't seeing them earlier. I'm going to go up and see if I can help you guys with any questions. Thank you, guys. That's sweet. Thank you for the lovely compliments. Oh, you see, I'm seeing it now. In some areas, it's blending a bit. But you know what? I'm going to leave it. It doesn't look bad. Sometimes I just have to go and give it a couple little swipes of, there you go. I like to break up, like if I see there's too much blue. Or oh, okay, I'll show you guys the paints again for those of you who missed that. Here you go. Oh, this way. It's called, it's from, the brand is Testors, and you can get them at Michael's. They're a few dollars, and you can use your coupons. So, wow, this one is really blending nicely together. And like I said, this is only 2 colors. So can you imagine if you had other colors? And you can go ahead and put glitter in one of those colors, and then just have one of the colors having glitter in it. It's so pretty. You can do that as well. So there's a lot of different options. You're not just limited to your colors. So I'm just trying to see here, see if I can answer some more questions. Jessica, you got your question there. I'm going to do this with orange and white on a black spray painted. Okay, wanted to drip the orange and white, mixing the oh, okay. So I don't know how that would work. So if you have your cup and you're trying to have the background of your cup showing through, that would be a little bit difficult to do because you have to kind of have your entire cup coated. Otherwise, I mean, I guess suppose you could, but I don't think it would turn out like this because you need it to be. How do you explain that? You need it to be smooth. So that's the problem. Although maybe if you used clear. Maybe if you used clear epoxy as one of your colors, quote unquote, that might work. You could try that. I mixed about 40 mils of epoxy on each side. Oh yeah, Stephanie had mentioned that. The clear. Yeah. You know what? I don't put another coat after this unless I have it gets lumpy, but most of the time it doesn't. It's nice and smooth. So yeah, I don't know why I missed all these comments. Sorry, guys. Yes, I sometimes spray paint my cup. It doesn't make much of a difference for these. Usually these cover really nicely. I guess if you do something more translucent, you might want to spray paint your cup first, because they do have these, I think, in a more translucent. There's opaque, there's pearl, and there's translucent in this brand. I've never used the translucent because that to me says clear, and I want it to cover, so I've never tried that. But you know, this is usually I get more lines or striation, which is fine. Either way, I think this looks really good the way that it is. This one I would probably put a decal on. I think this is a perfect cup. Sometimes you don't want to ruin your swirl because you get nice swirls and you don't want to put a decal on top of a like really swirly cup. So I probably wouldn't do that for most of mine. But this one, yeah, I would probably put a decal on there. I think it'll look really pretty. So, all right. Well, if anybody else if nobody else has any questions, I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna post a picture tomorrow. I can't wait. I think it's gonna look really cute and nice, and maybe even manly. Who knows? We'll see. Perfect for a guy, maybe. All right. Well, have a good night, guys, and keep crafting. Thank you.